Today I'm here with Bo Eckstein, and we're going to talk about the differences between business opportunities and franchises. So, welcome, Bo.
Hello.
My first question is, what are the main differences between a business opportunity or BizOp and a franchise?
Sure. So a franchise is governed by the Federal Trade Commission, and they must provide an FDD or franchise disclosure document detailing all the terms and obligations. And a business opportunity generally has fewer regulatory requirements with no FDD needed. Business opportunities are less standardized, but also less regulated.
Okay. What are the key advantages of choosing a BizOp over a franchise, or vice versa?
So let's start with the business opportunity. Usually there's no ongoing fees, so there's no royalty fees. Usually it's an upfront fee. That's definitely an advantage that you don't have that 6, 7, 8% royalty fee. Franchise may have more. A franchise typically will have more support because of the FDD. You're going to have more diligence that you can do. It has to be disclosed, right? So you have this FDD with 23 items in it. You have a 300-page document. You have more standards of care, I would believe, and that's important for a reason that you can call other owners. There's more transparency. Not to say that business opportunities are not, but I think they're just a little bit harder to find the good ones because it's more of a needle in a haystack. But we work with a lot of good business opportunities, such as in vending. Such as in medical staffing. We work with a really good brand that's been doing it for 30 plus years. So just understanding. I think one of the big differences would be with a BizOp, I'll call it a BizOp, there's a lot more flexibility. You don't have to usually adhere to as strict brand standards, and you're not regulated as hard. So like it's really giving you kind of a business model in a box, but you don't have as much hoops to jump through, and then you don't have the recurring fees.
All right, so how does the level of control and flexibility differ between BizOps and franchises?
So we talked about investment. So operational guidance, I think you're going to get a little bit more support or a lot more support with a franchise, generally, not all the time. And then there's also licensing. We're not going to talk about licensing, but I think licensing is sometimes you'll run into something that's a license deal, which is, for example, there's a brand out there that does mobile. They're like mobile trailers that provide beverages, right? So you like a wedding might book it, and then you bring this mobile trailer, and then they can put their kegs of beer in there or their wine on tap. And so that's a rentable. It's a licensed business model. So there's all these different sectors, and some licensed business models are fantastic. Some business opportunities are fantastic. Some franchises are fantastic. Some franchises fail. Some BizOps aren't good, right? So at the end of the day, we're still doing due diligence. I think the operation, the fundamentals of a franchise, I think you have more training wheels and more support and more marketing infrastructure. They're usually more of a developed brand. But some models like vending, for example, make for a better business opportunity. So I think it's just, you got to understand what you're getting into. There's pros and cons for each of these three avatars: BizOp, licensing, and franchise. Finding something that makes sense for you is what we do.
What are the financial implications, like startup costs and ongoing fees, for both BizOps and franchises?
So on a BizOp like vending, I'll just use that because we work with a lot of vending companies. Actually, we mainly work with two. They're business opportunities. So they don't generally charge any ongoing fees. So where do they make their money? So they are supplying you the vending machines. So obviously they're getting them at wholesale, and they're selling them for their price to you based on how many units you purchase. So that's where they make their money. I mean, to full transparency, right? Like they have to make money somewhere, and that's where they make money. They make money on the vending machines. But their goal for you, and the two brands we work with have been around for a long, long time. Their goal is that you come back and buy more and more machines. So the two concepts I'm talking about provide coaching. They provide Some of them provide placement services where they place the machines for you. So to me, they have a good track record as you're doing diligence. They're encouraging you to call other owners. We call that validation. On a business opportunity, you're just paying a fee of some sort. So I might buy 10 vending machines. It's going to cost me X amount of dollars. I don't have any ongoing fees I need to pay them other than my software fee for the point of sale system. On a franchise, you're paying royalty fees. You're paying a franchise fee up front. You're paying all your startup costs, royalty fees. Sometimes they have a marketing brand fee that's monthly. So those are the general fees. So you have more fees, but you're getting more support in theory. And a licensing deal, that could have a combination of different, they could just charge you a percentage of sales. Like, for example, I was talking about that mobile bartending business. You buy the trailer, they probably make a premium on that, and then they basically, their thing was that they're getting 20% of sales, but they're giving you the jobs too. So that was a licensing deal. So they can be structured in different ways. But generally, a business opportunity, like, for example, the medical staffing business, they charge an upfront fee for all the training, and they charge no ongoing fees after that. So you're basically paying a one-time fee, and then you have ongoing support forever with no additional fees. So they vary, but at the end of the day, doing your homework and understanding how these business models work, and then also getting a hold of other people that run these businesses is the most crucial part. Whether there's an FDD for a franchise or there's none for a business opportunity, you have to do these steps to make sure you know what you're getting into.
Okay, so this last question is kind of big and ambiguous, but who would be a better fit for a BizOp, and who should consider a franchise model instead?
I think either could work. So if you find the right BizOp, they're going to have probably just as much support as most franchises. Not all BizOps, but some of them that we work with. But I think where a franchise might excel is that somebody's coming from corporate, they've never owned a business, and they need training wheels, they need marketing. They know how to do that. They can follow the playbook, but they still want to coach. They want all the infrastructure and support. So that's why I think franchising makes a lot of sense. We talk about how veterans come out of the military and they're looking, and 1 out of 7 franchise owners are prior military. It's a reason they can follow systems and they can implement. So a lot of people in corporate, in the operations world, in the corporate sector, they can do the same thing. And I think it's less threatening than going and starting a business from scratch or buying a mom and pop business and doing business acquisition. So I think it could be applicable both ways. What I do see is a lot of people getting into like more of a structured business, like a business opportunity, like vending, because you don't need to have employees. You know that you spend about 1 hour per week per machine. So I call it a gateway business because it gets you into owning other businesses, but it provides a lot of advantages like tax advantages. And you can scale the business because hey, if I have 5 machines and they're, on average netting X amount of dollars, if I have 20 machines, I'm going to make X amount. So I think there's a case for both business opportunity and both franchise. And it really comes down to the individual. Going back to that, I mean, there's so many different businesses. I've looked at business opportunities personally. I've owned a franchise. I've invested in business opportunities before. And I think the real difference is just the infrastructure. There's more transparency with a franchise than you'll have with a business opportunity. But does not mean a business opportunity is a bad thing. You just have to understand that you have to get into the right business opportunity and find one that's got a very long-standing track record, and you can validate all these things that you're told about the business to make sure that's something that is true. So that's what I would kind of recommend in a nutshell.
All right. Well, that wraps it. Anything you want to add at the end here?
Just if you're looking to find a business, how you go about figuring out what you can qualify for from an SBA standpoint with the amount of money you have, or how do you structure these deals, or how to find a business, or if you just want to simply take the business assessment just to see where you're at because you get a copy of it, just go to bookwithbo.com, schedule a call with me, and we'll meet for 15 minutes and we'll start from there. Let's start there, and then we go from there and see which way you want to go. Some people are ready to go and want to dive into looking at businesses right away. Some people just want to understand what's out there And I think I do a pretty good job either way. So bookwithbo.com.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi guys, Bo Exian here, and I'm with Baby Bo. Baby Bo is just a little over 4 months. He's my first child, my wife and I. So if you want to create legacy for your family, I highly suggest you go to our Business Ownership Summit. You can find all the events we're doing. Primarily, they're all free. You can go to boeckstein.com/events. And I hope to see you at one of our events where we teach business ownership, how to leverage SBA financing, tax strategies. I'm not a CPA and an attorney, but we bring CPAs on. You're going to learn why everyone should own a small business. So I hope you attend. Go to boeckstein.com/events. I'll see you at the next one. Hey guys, Bo Exian here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.